Ranking teams based on how entertaining they are. This is interesting. USA Today, shout out to them for posting this article. But as I said, yes, these are the most entertaining teams to the least entertaining team. Which, to be honest, that's such a weird criteria. So I guess it's the most entertaining team for players. I feel like we're going to be middle of the pack. I don't feel like we're going to be top 5. I don't feel like we're going to be top 10. I think we'll be middle of the pack on that one. We got Joe Burrow, but we got a lackluster defense, decent coaching. Okay, I'm going to go middle of the pack. Let me guess. Number 1's the Ravens. Let me guess. Yep. Figured. Lordy. With that in mind, here's our early and entirely unscientific ranking of all 32 teams from most to least entertaining based on where they stand ahead of training camp. Okay. So, what qualifies as entertaining in the NFL isn't always clear, but there's a clear disparity between each organization in top talent, potential for big plays, and unique schematic elements that add a level of distinction. I feel like this is not for the players. This is how fun they are to watch. I just realized that. Okay, so it's not based on for players to go to most entertaining. This is the most entertaining to watch. The Ravens are number 1, which makes sense because they got Lamar Jackson and they also have Derrick Henry, and they have a really good defense. And, yeah, they're going to be a good regular season team as always. What about postseason? We don't talk about that, Timmy. Anyway, Baltimore Ravens, okay. Number 2 is the Buffalo Bills. How is number 3 the Eagles? I feel like the Eagles, maybe not actually. I don't know. The Eagles have a really run-first heavy team with a good defense. And if we're being honest, that doesn't always make it the most entertaining. Like, the Ravens do have Derrick Henry, but if you watched them last year, you know they will go away from Derrick Henry for 3 quarters and just become a Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson show where they just throw the ball with Lamar or run the ball with Lamar. So that's the only thing I would say that keeps them interesting. The Bills are always interesting because they got Josh Allen, and he could either throw for 400 yards or run for 400 yards. So, Eagles, they got the Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts show. Yes, they can throw it. Yes, they do throw it. But if they can just run Saquon down your throat, they will. If they can just play defense, they will. And the tush push. Number 4, Detroit Lions. Okay. Now without Ben Johnson and Aaron Gunn. Should be interesting. 5 is Kansas City Chiefs. You know what? This article is null and void. Bro, the Chiefs are the most least interesting team to watch. Like, and that's not me being biased because I'm a Bengals fan. They are the most least interesting team to watch, period. Because their style of offense, somewhat reminiscent of what it used to be with the Patriots back in the day, where they're dink and dunk you down the field, and they're just trying to make the score a 1-score game in the end, and it will be the lowest scoring 1-score game ever. Which, yes, they can win that way, but it's not entertaining. I don't even watch the Chiefs game, unless they're playing like the Bills, which that is a back and forth really good game. But if they're playing a bad team especially, it's going to be a very low scoring back and forth game. If they're playing a good team, other than the Bills and the Bengals are the only teams they play that's like an entertaining game. And maybe the Ravens too. It's usually just it's like a very low scoring 1-score game the whole entire game. Chiefs are not entertaining. Rams are number 6. Okay. Number 7 are the Commanders. The fact that we are not higher on this list is actually kind of disappointed. Because if you watch the Ravens versus Bengals game last year, both of them, we were pretty entertaining. Because guess what? Joe Burrow could throw 600 yards in the game and 7 touchdowns to Jamar Chase. Like, this is kind of just how the Bengals offense is. Their defense sucks, but their offense is pretty good. So, if anything, we should be, like, honestly number one for entertainment purpose because we are actually interesting. Number 8 is us. They said Joe Burrow knows the deal. So does everyone else. Cincinnati loads massive responsibility on the plate of its single caller, who somehow steady delivers on the outsized expectations. With T. Higgins and Jamar Chase hauling in big bucks this offseason, the number 6 scoring offense shouldn't falter. But after setting an NFL record for losing 4 games in which it scored 33 or more points, Cincinnati could be prone to a shootout in 2025. As a bit of... Here's what I'll say about it. I'm going to say it like this. We paid Joe Burrow $270 million. We should rely on our single caller. We should rely on Joe Burrow. He's making 50 some odd million per year. Obviously, with his team-friendly contract, it's, put betterly. It's put together better than that. It helps us out more, but on average, it's $50 million a year. 50 some odd million a year, excuse me. If you're paying that much money for a quarterback, they should have all the expectations, all the pressure, all the everything put on them. Just saying. They should have to go to heckin' back when it comes to having everything expected from them because they're making that kind of money. Now Jamar Chase is making 40 some odd million, so he should also have that same expectations. Once you make above 25 million, you're going to start getting a lot more expectations. That's why a lot of these players are like, oh yeah, we want all this money, we want so much more money, we want these crazy contracts. If you want crazy contracts, awesome. But you're going to start having to, raise up your expectations if you want crazy contracts. You don't get crazy contract and are allowed to have low expectations still, if that makes sense. If you're a quarterback who's on a rookie contract making little to no money, my expectations of you is, okay, I hope you become something. But I don't expect you to go out there and do what Jaden Daniels did, which was got to the NFC Championship game, right? I don't expect that. When I pay you $270 million, I expect the NFC Championship game or AFC Championship game in Joe's part. So, expectations should always be high for players who are making the most money. You pay the player that for a reason. Other than the Deshaun Watson situation with Cleveland. But that's beside the point. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they paid him all the money, but could not ever expect him to be anything. Packers, number 10. 49ers, number 11. Steelers, number 12. 13 Vikings. 14 Texans. Chargers. Dolphins. Broncos. Bears. Cowboys, Seahawks. Falcons. Jacksonville Jaguars. Cardinals. Raiders. Patriots. Panthers. Titans, Colts, Jets, Giants, and the Browns are the least entertaining team in the NFL. What's funny is they might actually be pretty entertaining because of their defense. Their defense is going to actually make it entertaining because their defense is that good. So, I don't know how I feel about that, but I will say their defense is entertaining. They do have a plethora of 6 different quarterbacks. Should be entertaining. Jerry Jeudy is going to be a great receiver this year. Actually, I really don't understand how are they 32? Because, even with me, again, being biased here, the Brownies actually are kind of entertaining. If their quarterback situation gets figured out, they drafted, 2 running backs who are pretty good. They got, Nick Chubb's going, but I'm actually excited for their future. I don't know. I think that they actually have a pretty entertaining squad. They have a good offensive line, good receiving core, decent receiving core. Cedric Tillman should be better this year. I don't know if I agree with this, but it's also USA Today, so, who cares? Peace out.